Hello, my name is Tony Mpaji, a Wikimedian based in Kampala, Uganda.
I participated in a Wiki Gap 2021 and 2022.
This is my first time in Wikimania and Wikipedia.
I am one of the scholarship recipients and I'm super excited to be part of it.
Got to know about this through a friend called Vic.
I think it was my neighbor. They were walking and then I asked them about, they were talking and then they mentioned something like that and I already knew about it. So
Expectations, learning a lot, getting to meet new people.
So the Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda is the umbrella group that collects all Wikipedians in Uganda.
In primary school, in secondary school, and if Wikimedia was part of the schools in Uganda, I believe they'd get very many creative minds to contribute to it as well.
In summary, I would say Wikimania is wiki, everything wiki.
It's a good platform for the youth to come and develop themselves, and yeah, they're going to enjoy it.
It's very, very interesting working with Wikipedia.
Because for as long as I've used the internet, Wikipedia is something I've benefited from.
Talk about Wiki Vibrance, talk about Wiki Voyage, talk about Wiki Gap, talk about Wiki Glam, talk about monuments and everything to do with the Wiki, that is Wikimania. So we come together every year to celebrate everything Wiki.
Wikimania 2022! Yeah!
I'm a Wikipedian, joined a few years back, but here and there I lost my accounts. I had to renew in 2021, won some competitions there and this year. So, facts about me. I write articles on the different Wikimedia projects.
My name is Marisha Fik. I'm the co-founder of Fictive Media Limited. I'm happy to see you. I also volunteer with Wikimedia Community User Group Uganda. So I first of all congratulate everyone for having won a scholarship.
Then someone also from the group said we need to do more workshops on training. For example, the Wiki Loves competitions shouldn't be just the competition that you take a photo and submit it to win. Let it be more of a skill.
Lastly, the next part was what is its role? And there were three: sensitization, organizing local events, and trainings. What does it do? Does it organize local events? Yes, we have attended one here. Does it train volunteers? Yes, it's doing some. Does it support? Most of us you have gotten already part of facilitation, and we want to even thank you for what is about to come.
How many people made an edit to Wikipedia in the last 30 days? 7 people got that correct. So number 3, Jack. Clap for Jack, people. Number 2, Winks. Number 1 is... Yay! All groups are talking about things like the local languages. We shouldn't have only the Luganda Wikipedia for the local language. We can have other languages. We are talking about trainings. How do we onboard new people? Someone discovers Wikimedia, but how is he welcomed in the community? Should also be our roles. I think Douglas is taking note, and other people here. These are really wonderful ideas where we are going to start from to build our strategy for the next 5 years. And we would want your collaboration and also your input to achieve this.
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, not yet.
In about 10 seconds. Going live in next couple of seconds. You can unmute if you want, Coyote, so that we can hear everybody. It's a 10-second countdown. You can feel free to count them there in local event integration. You can start 10, 9.
Nigeria, we've got Tochi Friday here, and we've got all of our community members here. We're having our social events for Wikimania, and Wakanda. Wikimania 2022. Happy celebration, Wikimania 2022. Happy that is from our end here in Lagos, Nigeria. That is from here in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you very much to the Foundation. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, we would like to thank everyone joining us across the globe. We are so excited. It's been 3 days, back to back. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, live from Lagos. We want to say happy birthday, happy celebrations for Wikimania 2022.
Thank you, right here from Lagos.
Happy birthday.
We want to say happy celebrations, Wikimania 2022. Thank you, I love Wikimania vibe.
Give it to someone, give it to someone else, give it to someone. Let's go.
Thank you, Wikimania 2022. We are happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you, Wikimania. Thank you, Wiki. We love you. Thank you, Wikimania. To enjoy the Nigerian vibe.
It is fun.
Happy celebration!
Paste this and put it into the spinning wheel, and then we'll have a draw. And if you join later, you can just add it, and you'll be in the next draw. And for each turn, you'll get 15 seconds to do the guess. And you'll put the guess into the chat, and I'll copy it into my version of Redacted. So that's all you need to write is your actual guess after you signed up here. The rules are in the top here, so you see it here on the Etherpad. So you just make a guess and you will get some points. Longer words get more points, and we'll continue until we I guess till the time goes out. So we'll see who has the most winners, and I'm gonna try to keep track of it. And now we have a number of people in here, so I'll copy this for now. You can always add it later, but these are the ones who are going to go into the first one. So I'll add here, and I'll ready to spin, I hope. No, this is the wrong wheel. Did it not take? Add. No. Paste input. This should be, let's clear it first. Add. Why did it not clear? I've tried this several times. Update wheel. There's the button. All right, ready to spin. Oh no, these are too many. Do I have to remove them? Oh no. All right, quickly remove here all the ones who weren't. And I think I pasted everyone too many times. Paste inputs, add. There we go. Update wheel. There we go. And spin it. Why do I have some blank lines? Well, Ray, you have the first guess. So whatever you want to guess, put that into the chat, and I'll add it into here, and we'll see how many points you get. And I'll have a little timer here. Oh, plants. All right, that's perfect. I'm going to copy that. Yes, I can zoom. I'll do that just after this first guess. And I'll have to put it in the right. Plants. Oop. And I don't want to copy that. Plants. Guess. Oh no! 0 points. That was unfortunate. Yes, I'll zoom in here a little bit now so you'll see. And I should have... I hope this is easier. That's perhaps too much. That might be better. Is that better? Yes. So I'll scroll down here so we also have an overlook. Great. Better. And I'll take a look and see in the here if there's were some few names added. There were, so I'll add a few here. Go back into wheel here again. Update it. Remove the empty ones. Oh, there was a spin there before I was updating. Now let's go. The next one. Okay, Daniel, you have the next guess. First, that's a good guess. So I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go back to the redactor here, enter the guess. It copies the says. That's unfortunate. There we go. Guess. And you get first, that's 2 hits. And the length of first is 5. So that's going to give you 10 points. So I'm adding you to my little spreadsheet I have here in another tab. Which means that you're in the lead. Now let's go back to the random spinner picker wheel here. And just spin again. I can't see any new names added. Polanle. Now let's see. What word do you want to guess at? And any chat works if it's in the feed loop or the Jitsi chat. Let's see if we get something. I do have a little bit of a timer here of 15. Yes, you can see more of the redactyl. That's a good point. That's much more helpful to actually, and I should have do screen here. Did we have anything from Bolanle? No guess? Are you still here? If not, we're gonna scroll again soon. I'm just gonna give you here a short overview of what we have, so you know what you can guess. We have had plants and first so far. And it's a really long article, as it usually are. So if you get a good word, you can get quite a lot of hits. I'm not going to scroll down all the way. Let's go back to the wheel then. Did we have any few more people added? No, I don't see any more ones in the Etherpad. So I'll just spin the wheel again. But if you want to join, add your name as it is in feed loop in Etherpad. Oh, right. You get your second guess. And I'll go back to the redactyl here so that you all can have a look while we're getting the guess. Always. All right. So I'm going to copy the always into here. Also remove the Jitsi ads and have a guess. And you get 3 hits. And always is a 6-letter word, so that's 18 points. And that takes you up to the lead. And let's see, where did we get? We see we get 1 always here. And it's really hard to see them. There are blue, but yeah. I'm gonna spin the wheel here and have someone else do a. Oh, we have a few added. I have one added here in the. So I'll update the wheel here. Add input there. Hit wheel and ready to spin. Oh, and Daniel again. All right, we get a second guess here from Daniel. I hope this randomizer is not bad. It should be good. When I tried it out before, it was. Oh, we get being here from Daniel. All right. So I'll copy that. And we'll see the guess. 10 hits. That was a big one. All right. So we'll add for Daniel's second guess 10, and that's also a 5-letter word. Brings you up to 60 and the lead. Oh, and I see a few more names being added here in the Etherpad, so I'll also add that to the wheel. We're not going to remove it here. We're going to add Paka. Was added there. I saw it. And let's just do it quickly here. Control F for being. See where we had the thing. There we had the being. Being. This might give you some clues for your next guesses. All right, and I also saw Merdad and Piotr added there, so I'll add you to the random picker wheel. Let's go in here, add there, and update the wheel, and do the next spin. There's still a blank in there. I don't know where that came from. Tommy Lobo, you have the next guess. So just put it into the chat. Can. All right. That's I think that is gonna a good chance here. So let's see what it gives. 4 hits. Not super many, but you're on the list. So it was 4 hits, 3 letters, 12. So you're on the leaderboard. Now I'm checking the Etherpad, no new names. So let's see where we had the cans. So first one was there, and one, oh, that didn't give a lot in a quote. All right. So let's spin it again. All right, Vaskar Basak, you have the next guess. Yes, just enter the word in the chat, and I'll copy paste it. All right, time. So I'll enter here time, and we'll have a guess. 3 hits. So I'll add you to my spreadsheet. You had 3 hits, 4-letter word, 12. So the same place as Tommy Lobo, and let's have a look where they are in this. Oh, can I just click here? Yes, all right, that was a shortcut. I don't need the Control F. I can just click on this one and it go to the next. All right, so those were the 3 hits. No new names, so let's spin the wheel. Lodewijk, you have the next guess, and I'll bring up the redactyl here for you. They, all right. 23, that's the top of the day so far. So Lodewijk, you had 23 hits on a 4-letter word. That's 92 points, and that puts you in the lead. So let's have a look where we have a few of the theys. They. A lot of theys here. Also in the quote here in the end, or it's not even in the end, this is somewhere in the middle. And we'll see when this go back up. That's gonna pass the last one. There we went up again. All right. Very nice. Do we have any new participants? No. All right. So let's spin the wheel. And spin it.
Добре. Дуже добре. Нових учасників нема.
And someone unmuted themselves there. Could you please mute yourself? Thank you. Vaskor Basak, you all have the next guess. Which? All right. I'll put it here. Which? And let's have a guess. 31! All right, a new top. I'm gonna add this to the 31 hits, 5 letters, which bring you to the top now with 167 points in total. And let's have a look on a few of the witches we had here. Common word. I'm not sure if we're going to click through all 31, but we can have a look at some of them here. It gives you a little bit more look of what the article looks like and what you might want to guess as well. All right. Just scroll quickly. You see it here in the blue. A lot of them. Might also give you something of the end here. Yes. All right. No new names in the Etherpad, so let's spin the wheel. Merdad, you have the next guess. I think I am a second earlier here on the... R. All right. So let's enter R in here and have a guess. 27. That's a good one as well. All right. So I'm going to add you to my, that was your first, but it's a lot of things. So 27 with 3 takes you up to 81, and you're on 3rd place so far, just behind Vaskor and Lodewijk. And let's have a look where we have the R. Oh, quite a far way down for the first one. But then, of course, this is a common verb. So going to be a lot of them. Yes, and if anyone joins, you can still just enter your name into the pad, and I'll update the spinning wheel. Oh, and there we have a connecting which. Very good. Nice. Ah, another one. Yeah, there's, of course, some words that sort of are used commonly together. All right. I'll scroll back up and let us have another spin. Just a quick check. No new names. All right. So I'll just spin again. Oh! All right. Lucky getting 2 in a row here. I have no control of this algorithm, so you'll have to trust me on that. Yes, either. All right. Very quick. So let's see. That's also a long guess. No, 0. Ah. So that was unfortunate. So we'll just go for the next. Oh no, 3 in a row. I guess the odds is very small. No, it's not rigged. I promise. Never. All right. That's also. Let's see if we have a never in here. No, never either. Oh. I'm not bribable, unfortunate. So yeah. All right, so we'll just go to the spinning here again. I'm actually going to see if can I spot the empty one? Can I? Oh, there's in the top. So I'll remove the empty one there. Update the wheel, and now spin it. Ah, new color, but the same. 4 in a row. That should be like 1 in, I don't know. Therefore, all right, a really long one. Therefore, 2 hits. So I'll add that guess in the, so 2 hits, and therefore is 9 letters. So 18 points take you up to 2nd place. So where do we have them? We have 1 there in the beginning of a sentence with a comma, and in a parenthesis a little bit further down. All right. I'll double check again. No new names added here. So let's see if we can spin the wheel and see if it actually is possible to get something else here. All right, so that's a new name. So Daniel, you have the next one. Were. All right, so let's see. Were, and a guess, 66. That's the top. That's the top so far. So Daniel had 66 hits with the 4-letter words, bringing you up to 324 in total, and almost twice the lead here. And we'll have a short look here of where we have words. There's going to be plenty of them then. Yes, starting to get something more like we can almost see some sentences here. It was a long time we scrolled through this, so I'll show you newcomers. And I also see there's a new name in the Etherpad, so I'm going to add you, Camelia, before I spin the next time.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so let's go to the picker wheel here, and I'm going to enter Camelia and update the wheel, and let's spin it. Mahir, your first guess. British. All right, very specific. Right. 5 hits. All right. So that can give us quite a lot of clues when we scroll that. I'm just going to enter you into my. So you had 5 hits. British is a 7-letter word, so 35 points in total. And let's see, where do we have any British come up? In the British, British and British, British, and the last one, and British. All right. And then I think it goes back up. All right. So not super near the top. This is almost halfway down of the article, the first British came. So I'm just going to, I think I need to check what time. We have 13 minutes, so that's going to give us plenty. That's good. So let's spin the wheel. Dreamy Jazz. You have your first guess here. And do we get a guess from Dreamy Jazz? Are you still here with us? I'm going to show you this one so that you have something to guess from. I think that's a little bit of cheating, having a look at Wikipedia at the same time or play along in another tab. So just stay with me here. Yeah. But do we have Dreamy Jazz still here? Them. All right. Perfect. Perfect. So we'll add the them here. Thank you. And that's 16 hits. Not bad at all. So 16 hits on a 4-letter word brings you up to, my math is not to 64. And I think that's about 5th place so far. And let's see where we had them. Where we had them. No pun intended. About them, them in a, ending the sentence, to them by, them a, for them from the, them up outside, them on, them as being, very interesting, them to again, about them and of them, about them, them in a, and ending the sentence, to them by, them a, for them. Are we back? Oh, I think we scroll back up here. Yes, all right, sorry. So let's have the next spin then. No new names added, no. All right, random picker wheel. Spin again. Mahir, your second guess. Known. All right. So let's see. Might someone be known for something here? Let's see. Known. 14. That's a good guess. So 14 hits, and known is a 5-letter word, giving you 70 points for this. Total 105 and up to the 3rd place. Let's see. Where do we have any knowns? Oh, in the first sentence. Known as. Known. Known about them. Known to the. Is known about. Is known about the. Known as the. Known and. Known as. Known as a. Known as the. Known as. Known in. Or known to. And then it go back up. All right. No new names. So let's spin the wheel. Daniel, is this your 4th guess, I guess? Sometimes. Oh, you're going for a long one here. All right. Maybe a 9-letter word and 4 hits. So I'll add it for you here. 4 hits, 9. Brings you up to total 360, keeping the lead. Let's see, where do we have some sometimes? So 4, 1 there. Not much connections. Beginning the sentence. And the 4th one. Oh, that was, didn't give us a lot of clues. And no more new names. Let's go for the random picker wheel here. All right, first guess for Daimona. Before, yes. All right, so let's add before. So, oh, before is already added, so it won't even show up as a guess here. So all befores, let's see if there, I search for before, that was one of the there. So you get a new guess because that was, doesn't even count in our guess number here. Last, all right. 1. Oh, and where do we have the last? There we have it. So that's 1 hit on a 4-letter word, but still on the leaderboard. And no new names here, so let's spin the wheel. If I can get to the wheel, there we go. Ah, you get another guess immediately here. So the wheel is sticky. Book. All right. Let's see, do we have any book in here? No, 0 for the book. Unfortunate. So probably not an author about this article. Let's spin it. Ray, your third guess, if I remember correctly. What do you want to try? Oh, so we're good to play until 18:05. All right, so let's just keep playing. If you need to go anywhere, you won't lose any points. The winner will get a barn star, the Oracle barn star. Oh, there you go. Counter. All right, so we'll see. Do we have a counter in here? No counter. Unfortunate. So let's just spin this. All right, Damona, you get yourself another chance here. Barn Star is a sort of a digital medal. I'm going to give it to your user page. You're guessing at what? So let's see. Do we have what in here? 6 watts. So that was a 6 hits, 4-letter word, 24. You're climbing up a little bit. So let's see. Where do we have watts? There we have 1. Of what? Of what? With what? I'm going to remove that one. Beginning the sentence. Of what the? And then it goes back up. All right. So let's spin it here. My here. Let me switch back here. Formerly. All right. See if there's any formerlies. No formerlies in here. Unfortunate. That's a 0 guess. So let's just spin it. All right, I'll copy that one because that's a long. I don't want to screw up the spelling here. No, approximately. Unfortunate. Yes, you can still add yourself to the Etherpad, and I'll can copy you into the spinning wheel, which we're going to spin now. Oh, Daniel, I think you're a winner on these spins. You're already in the lead. Are you going to expand? Every. All right. Let's see. Do we have any everys in here? 3. So 3 hits, and that's a 5-letter word. Bring you up to 75. Where do we have any every? We have one there in the first paragraph. With every and at every. Just checking here if someone said they were leaving. Right. Dreamy Jazz. And someone's new is coming in, so I'll remove Dreamy Jazz and add Andre. So let's go into the wheel here, scroll down. We'll add Andre and Dreamy Jazz, remove, update the wheel, and ready to spin. Marina, or Marina, your first guess, I think it is. Means. All right. Do we have any means in here? We have one means. So one hit, 5 length. You're on the leaderboard, at least. And where do we have it? Or as a means of. All right. That might give a clue for someone. Oh, and I also see we have a second Camellia. Are you both named Camellia? I'll need to have some sort of way to differentiate between you two, so we know who's actually.
I add it on the Etherpad.
Yes, there's 2 Camellia on the Etherpad right now.
Please, okay, I will delete the last.
Ah, all right. All right. So then can just spin again here. Oh, and I also see that we crossed out the Ray there, so I'll remove Ray here before we get it. There, update the wheel. A little bit more chance for your still left here. Lydia, your first guess. War. All right. Heavy. Let's see, do we have any wars? 1 war. All right. So that brings you on the board. Oh, I'm going to add you to my spreadsheet. So there's 1 hit of a 3-letter word. You're lost on the board, but you're on the board. Where do we have the war in here? Quarter down of a war. All right. So let's spin it. All right, Camellia, you get a guess here. So I'm going to show you the redactyl here. More. All right. Let's see. Do we have any more in here? More. 12 hits. So that's 12 hits on a 4-letter word, 48. About 5th or 6th place. And let's see, where do we have the mores? The first one in the 2nd paragraph, where more, is more, was more, are more, were more than they were that was a long 5 words there. More in, more or, more of and then it went back up. All right. I don't see any new names or no one removed, so let's just spin it here. We have 10 minutes left. Kaka or Kaka. I'm not sure if this is Swedish pronunciation or something else, but your first guess. Of. Of is already in here, as you can see. So you get immediately a new guess. Light. All right. Light. 0. Unfortunate. So we'll just spin this. And I see a name being added here. Is that Nicholas? I'll add you here. Add to the wheel, update wheel, and spin. I think that felt rigged. Added it and immediately got picked. Sorry, is that your guess? Or are you sorry you were added? So, well, all right, well, let's go for well. Eight, well, all right. So let me add you to my so 8 hits, a 4-letter word, and 32 points. That's the same as someone else. Let's see, where do we have well? One quite early in the here. As well as. Another as well as. The well of. Of well. Well into the, as well as the, and that were all the wells. All right. So let's spin this again. Vaskor, your chance again. I think this is going to be your third guess. At. Let's see, is at a word already in here, or is that a new one? Let's see. It's already in here, so you'll get it immediately, a new guess. Have. I think that's going to be plenty of them. Let's see. 50. All right. So I'll add that to your hits here. 50 with a 4-letter word. 367 and just 8 behind Daniel, who's leading at 375. Let's have a look at some of the halves here. We have one half early on, second sentence. Have. I'm not going to go through all 50, but let's have a look at a few of them. Yeah, a lot of them. All right, I'll give you the wheel. I think we can get into, or did we have 2:05? Do I remember that correctly? Yes, all right, so we have 6 more minutes. Let's spin this. Camellia, another guess. World. All right. That's an interesting. So let's see. World. 8. That's quite good, actually. So let's see. I have 8 hits. A 5-letter word. 88. I think that brings you up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th place. And let's see. Where do we have world? That might give us some clues. World there. Mostly on their own. World by. Oh, in a bullet point list. Maybe that's references. All right, let's spin the wheel. Tommy Lobo, you get another guest here. Oh, American. All right. So let's see, do we have American in here? No American. So let's just spin this again. Merdad, are you still here? All right. Also, let's see. 22 alsos. So 22 hits on a 4-letter word gives you 88 points up to 187, and that's the 3rd place right now. So let's see a few alsos here. Are also the don't argue too much here in the chat. All guesses are valid as long as you don't cheat by looking at the real article or playing around somewhere else. Ooh, 4 more minutes. Yes. All right. So let's see. I was thinking about just going here, but we could also have everyone make another guess. I don't think that will take too long, I guess. So I'll just keep going, and we'll see where we go with this. Daniel again. Do we still have Daniel here? Century. All right. 23 on a 7-letter word. I think that's gonna be a lot. So that gives you 161 points and takes you up to 536. That was a good one. All right, so let's spin this in the end here, see what we got. Merdad, what do you want to go? Mute myself. Did someone else? Oh, there we go. Now I think I'm back. No 20s. We tried the 20. 0 hits. So spinning again. I think this is going to be the last one. Nicholas, you get the chance. Do you want to do a 4-letter word, or do you want to go with another one? Ancient. All right, let's see. Do we have ancient here in the last guess? 20 ancients, and that's a 7-letter word. So 20 hits, 7 brings you up to 172, and that's in the 4th place. So
The history of South Africa would not be complete without the mention of the Zulu tribe. Governed by a fighting spirit which has produced renowned warriors like Bambatha Mancinza, who led a rebellion against the Poltex, and Shaka Zulu, who played a prominent role in the Zulu Wars and united the nation. Dance has always played a central role in celebrating their achievement and a variety of traditions that have been passed down through generations. In Lamu, a war dance performed on weddings, crowning of kings, when a child is born, and when war is won, signals happiness, unites Africans, and signals victory. It is a war dance that demonstrates the mighty fighting human spirit. Over the past 2 years, the world has been fighting a deadly virus, but today we stand strong as nations, as Wikimedia communities, through the valleys and mountains, through the streams and ocean. Having beaten the monster, we have overcome, and we can't wait to tell yet another story for generations to come. Encapsulated in the spirit of Indlamu, the Zulu war dance which originates in South Africa, a dance that brings resilience during the times of hardships and pain. This is a celebration that is a legacy of creators for all those who cherish open and free knowledge. It is a call for volunteers to a safe space that is mainly performed to the drum beats of preserving knowledge through diversity, collaboration, and advocacy. Rise, Wikimedian, rise. We celebrate your conquering spirit which has kept you going for more than 2 decades. Welcome to Wikimania 2022, the festival edition.
Hi and welcome everyone. We are live from New York at the Wiki World Fair at the Queen's Museum. My name is Michael Hegström. I have Andrew with me, and I am the founder and editor-in-chief at Wiki Journal, which I'm going to first give a brief introduction to. So, Wiki Journal, this is a group of scholarly diamond open access journals, and it is currently hosted in Wikiversity. So, the main features of Wiki Journal is that these are open access, so all published articles are openly accessible under the Creative Commons license. It is free to publish, so these are fully nonprofit journals run by volunteer editors, so there are no publication charges of any kind. And it also applies public peer review, so each article that is submitted has a peer review, but at least 2 experts in the topic before publication. And it is Wikipedia integrated, so appropriate material is integrated into Wikipedia or other sister projects. And the purpose of this is to overcome some of Wikipedia's limitations. So for instance, there's often missing information, as seen in studies that, for example, pharmaceutical coverage of articles compared to drug formularies. And in many cases, it has inconsistent quality, and it is always changing. And also, researchers, they may want more credit for the work, more so than being mentioned in the history tab. And there's also, in particular, a shortage of images. So, because you cannot simply use any image on the internet due to copyright. So, the different publications formats of Wikijournal is that you can submit one of research, and in particular, original research. And as most of you know, this is not welcome directly in Wikipedia, but in Wikijournal, it is possible. So the topics could be in medicine, in science, or humanities. And such papers should preferably follow the standard format of introduction, method, results, and discussion. And they could also be in the category of case studies, which are descriptions of significant events, decisions, projects, or policies. And there's also the review format, which could be focused, and these reviews can focus on a specific detail of a topic, or more encyclopedic, which kind of looks more like a Wikipedia article. And these broad summaries cover an entire topic. And it is possible to submit a Wikipedia article into these Wikijournals too, as I can show later too. And a submission can basically be an image too, and together with short review centered around the image with a description of it. So basically a Wikijournal's publishing flow is that an article is first written and submitted as a preprint, and after that it undergoes peer reviews, at least 2 experts in the field, and after that step it's going to one of the editorial boards, and if they approve it, it will be published. And once it's published, we'll create a PDF version, and there will also be a version in the wiki of Wikijournal. And so these versions are citable and they are stable. And also, there's Wikipedia integration of content whenever appropriate. So, and this part is highly accessed. For example, with some of the images that have been able to be integrated in multiple articles, we've seen in one case over 250,000 views per month of these images. So compared to standard traditional scholarly journals, the amount of viewers can be really immense. And so broad readership, and it's still this content is also editable and updatable as new research may appear in time as well. And there's also the option to start making updates in Wikipedia. So to improve an article, and after the improvement, you submit it through this publication flow, and then you basically improve a particular Wikipedia page, this process, and get it peer-reviewed, and you can get mentioned as an author of a scholarly work. So there are many ways of getting involved. So there are basically there's a Wiki Journal of Medicine, and there's a Wiki Journal of Science, which can include topics such as also mathematics, engineering, technology, and there's Wiki Journal of Humanities, which also includes arts, social sciences, and we're also in the development of hopefully getting a journal up to in psychology, psychiatry, and behavioral sciences. These are the websites of each of these journals. And in particular right now, I'd say if you want to help out, there's the role of associate editor, where you would help in contacting peer reviewers and coordinate the publication process of articles. Or it can be an author of an article, or you can even submit content you've previously written in Wikipedia. And I should also mention that you do not have to be a doctor or a certain degree in order to submit something. Well, each article will still have to undergo peer review by experts, but that's something that's separate. And you can also follow the project on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn under these tags. So I'm gonna hand over to my colleague Andrew.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Andrew Long. I am the managing editor for Wiki Journal of Science. So what we do basically is whenever we receive a submission, what we do is we would just to verify to make sure that it is of a reasonable, acceptable quality, whether it's a preprint or as an existing like a Wikipedia article. Obviously, if someone submits like a stub or like a start class article, the chances are it's not well referenced. It doesn't have sufficient coverage on the information. So we would reject that. But if it appears to be sufficient enough, then we would identify scholars that are subject matter experts in the field, and we would solicit at least 2 replied comments, and then we actually have those published on the talk pages so that it is available to everyone and anyone to read. Because in a lot of the scholarly journals, these kind of comments are not shown at all. It only the editors themselves or the authors know what the comments are. So we're actually trying to bring transparency into the system, because we have heard of cases where peer reviewers can be quite toxic or leaving racist or sexist remarks in those comments. So we believe that this is one of the ways that it encourages open science, but also reducing the toxicity in the reviewing field as well, because it serves notice that your comment is going to be shown and anyone could see it. So that way we could kind of lower down we could kind of reduce that kind of toxic behavior in both the science as well as in the Wiki community. And based on, once we got that, we would contact the authors, and they would, based on the comments, the authors will take a look and review, or they have the chance to rebut if they think that the reviewers, the comments do not make sense. And then after that, the editorial board will examine the article and whether to decide to accept or to reject the publication. And basically what Michael has shown is that we will integrate these changes back into Wikipedia, or also in other venues such as in comments for images or sound recordings, so that it brings improvement back into Wikipedia and not just as like a standalone article. But we do generate a PDF which gives like a snapshot, because one of the concerns for a lot of academics is you cannot really cite a specific Wikipedia article because it's always constantly changing and there is no stable version. So when the article is accepted, we will generate a PDF which will give a persistent citable version that academias could use on their CV for the performance evaluation, and that way it kind of gets around the I don't want to cite by the edit version ID. So that and then we will also submit these information onto the relevant search engines so that they could also be crawled. And we have articles that are used quite a lot. And what we found is that the image galleries turns out to be actually one of the highest citations rates from other peer review publications. So which demonstrated that there is a big need for high quality images that are published in not in like copyrighted format. It could be like in Creative Commons format, and we do see that across multiple medical image galleries that they are used quite frequently. And this is one of the demand. We identified this as one of the higher need areas in the publishing field, because this kind of like demand is not really met by any existing publications available.
Yeah. So, Sam, do you have any particular questions regarding this? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe just repeat it after I ask the microphone. What kind of feedback are you getting? I mean, so a wiki journal seems like the big question would be getting buy-in from the rest of academia. What sort of feedback are you getting from peers in the field about a wiki journal?
Yeah, I think a lot of positive. Yeah. So the question is, what kind of feedback are we getting from the academic field of doing this? And I think basically I heard positive feedback of it, because people, I think every researcher appreciates that we do not have any cost to publish. We do not require any cost to access it. So, and I think everybody thinks it's a really great idea.
Yeah, I could certainly take that question as well. It costs, if you're trying to publish an open access journal in, say, Nature or Science, those cost upwards of even $2,000 or even more US dollars per article, which is a lot even in developed countries. And when you're looking at academics in developing countries or in the global south, that could be like a quarter of their annual income because of very little stipend. They could, in theory, ask for like a fee waiver or fee reduction, but that's also another process, more paperwork, and they have to submit all sorts of forms just to get that kind of reduction. The fact that our journal is completely free for submission and free to publish completely eliminates this kind of paperwork. So there's no need for someone to try to beg and ask for like a free reduction just to be open access. And moreover, we don't have to have any embargo of any information which is like a green open access journals, because the article is immediately readily available the day that it is accepted, right? So. And that is one of the struggles for a lot of the researchers, because there is a constant push in the past 5 to 10 years of trying to get into the open to publish more into open access. The existing publishing houses like Springer, Nature, Wiley, Blackwell, Taylor and Francis, they adopt this. They start to do the open access, but what they do is they only go open access, and they charge $1,000, $2,000 US dollars for these publication articles. And when academics are expected to publish, say, like 3 to 4 papers a year, that eats up a lot of the funds, and simply it's not sustainable.
Yeah, and to clarify too, the definition of diamond open access is basically it's free to read and it's free to publish, and compared to other ways that they call it like gold open access, which, as I understand, when you still have authors have to pay to have their articles published.
And moreover, we actually have articles that were dual language published, meaning that, for example, it was actually an article about in Nepal that it published in Wiki Journal of Science. And what we did is we published one English version, and at the same time, because the authors are Nepalese, so they actually written up the same version and translated from English into Nepalese, so that it's also published at the same time, such that the developing countries could also access these information readily available in their native language, which also foster our reach to reach those that are less proficient or not proficient in English language.
I guess, yeah, maybe just. One of the interesting products of WikiJournal is a lot of peer-reviewed work on Wikipedia articles themselves and improving Wikipedia articles to the next level. I wonder if you've thought of the old idea of Wikipedia 1.0 and building a sort of a full peer-reviewed encyclopedia in that way, and if you're taking some steps in that direction, or you're looking at like what maybe small mini publications or slices of Wikipedia that might be heavily reviewed that you're working on publishing, and how you might see integrating with that further. Thank you.
Yes, so we definitely want to target those that are, say, at the feature article and also good article status, because that means it has already gone through some form of a peer review process on Wikipedia. But we want to recognize that it focuses a lot on, say, manual of style and such, whereas maybe not so much on about the content of the depth of the article itself. Whereas when we send it out to peer reviewers, they would actually go into the depth and actually see whether the information is still up to date. As an example, we had a submission from several years ago it was a good article on surface tension, which is like a chemical property. And when we sent it to two peer reviewers, they actually identify a number of inaccuracies or outdated information that basically the school of thought is no longer correct, but it was present in the Wikipedia article. And we were actually able to when we put the article up for a good article review to see if it still merits having the good article status, it was later determined that those were accurate, and the article itself was delisted from the good article status due to those concerns raised by the expert peer reviewers. So I think that in one way, even if an article gets rejected from our publication, it ultimately also benefits the Wikipedia by identifying and actually having some kind of published record of showing the deficiency of that article at that point, at the point of when they were reviewed.
Yeah, and I think that's a good demonstration of the benefits of WikiJournal, because in a way, I think WikiJournal is basically a platform that's you can sit somewhere in between Wikipedia and the traditional academic journal, which I think many researchers and scholars would be more comfortable in using than either separately. Yes.
You say that, we can repeat it.
Yeah. No, no.
One question. For example, one feature article, one of the things that was emphasized during the review was making it understandable for non-experts, which at first impression seems to be at odds with the way academic journals.
Sorry, we couldn't hear you. It's really echoey. Could you perhaps go? Yeah.
Speak.
You could just.
So one thing I noticed, for instance, is that in a featured article I wrote about a rather technical subject. A lot of the focus during the featured article candidacy was on making it understandable to non-experts, which at first glance seems to be at odds with the way a lot of academic journals are published. How does the Wiki Journal take that into consideration?
Okay, so yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. So the question is whether you've experienced that when bringing an article to feature article status in Wikipedia, a lot of the effort was to making it more readable to the general audience rather than technical. And if we are using that in Wiki journal, if I understand correctly, so there may be articles that may be very technical, but I think a solution here is that once you want to integrate that material in Wikipedia, you can rephrase it and make it more more understandable in that process. For instance, if you submit a review article to Wikijournal, it may be technical, but the peer reviewers may be comfortable with that, and it may still be technical at the publication. But then, if the sources of that review article are proper, you can copy that over to the Wikipedia article of that topic using those proper references. And in that, when you copy it over, you can also rephrase it, maybe even put it on a simple English Wikipedia pages as well.
Yes, and we are actually in the process of also working like a layman kind of summary, so that it's more easily understandable by audiences that are not in that subject area. So this is actually one of the work that is that we're working on, and because it's a wiki format, it's very easy to add just like another section below the abstract for like a quick summary, or in a simplified format to explain the technical details or the overall findings for the non subject matter group. Yeah. Yes.
So to follow up on your comment before about open comments from reviewers, isn't there a fear about the reverse case of reviewers not being harsh enough if they know that their comments will last forever on the record? You can certainly imagine a case of some harsh commentary that's defended and successfully, but it seems that bad articles would be a risk as well too. So is that taken into account?
Yes. So in our review, in our review process, the reviewer could choose to have the identity known and published, or they could also choose to have the identity to be anonymous. So in a way, if they want to do a review without worrying that it could upset peers in the field, then they certainly have the option of choosing to publish the comments anonymously. So we would actually, when we actually have technical editors who will post these comments on behalf of the actual reviewers. So in a way, it kind of like have a little bit of a firewall to ensure that the anonymity, the identity of the reviewers if they choose to be anonymous, then they could stay anonymous that way. But in our cases, what we found is that about 80% of the reviewers actually choose to have the identity to be published, and it also works in their favor because part of their university evaluation is not just on the publication itself, it's also doing like scholarly work in their own fields. One of that includes reviewing other peers' publication. And when you make yourself identity known, then it's also very easy to show to your university board during the annual review that you have reviewed for so-and-so article when basically it's very easy identifiable. It's not locked behind some confidential databases from those proprietary journals that the university could only take your word for it for.
Yeah, and I could also mention some recent updates. Yes, so currently, Wikijournal they receive a very useful grant from Wikimedia Foundation. So we've been able to contract a few tech editors to do technical and repetitive work, so that those volunteers who join editorial boards or coordinate peer reviews in other ways can more focus on what is within their expertise, what they find interesting.
And yes, so we are especially seeking for individuals that are in the humanities area to become like an associate editor or the editor to booster because humanities cover multiple subject areas, and a lot of them are quite wide, from like history to music to say social sciences, and maybe even a little bit of like geography and politics. So we're always looking for additional volunteers who will be further advance our goal of providing free knowledge to everybody. And other journals, at all our journals, we're always looking for new submissions submitted by you guys, and also in academia. So we're accepting submissions from all of our journals. And what is one of our plan in the future when we want to move down the path?
Yeah, so eventually a goal is to become a separate sister project of Wikimedia. So currently the whole project is hosted in Wikiversity, but we also feel that if we would be a separate wiki, that would make it more easily to navigate between the articles, and would simplify a lot of the processes. We still got some formal work to do in this regard, but that's something we hope for in the future. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're now going to start our series of lightning talks. Oh, yeah. Thank you. We're going to have a series of lightning talks at the Wiki World's Fair, and user Lego KTM is going to give it first.
Hello. Hi, am I good?
Yeah, the microphone.
No. Okay. This is fine. Start. Okay. Hi, my name is Lego KTM, and also Kanal. I'm going to talk about the Mailman mailing list migration we did last year. So if you're not familiar, at lists.wikimedia.org, we host a bunch of mailing lists that are, for different projects, different groups in the movement. The largest mailing list is Wikimedia L, which is like the list for the entire movement. And there are also like other lists like daily article. You get the daily featured article, or the daily image, which is each day's featured picture on Commons. We have about 500 mailing lists, and Mailman is actually the single longest piece of software the movement has used. Mailman was originally used by Nupedia, and it predates MediaWiki. So it really is like one of the longest thing we've used. And up until mid last year when we did the migration, we used version 2 of the software, and it was pretty bad. It had like no mobile support. The archives were very inflexible. There was like no search, but then we also had to block Google from indexing it because it wasn't powerful enough to handle, being scraped and everything. It would regularly go down. It had very bad security practices. Your passwords were stored in plain text, so anyone with server access could actually see your real password. And there was like no real database for storage, which meant that if someone sent something like bad to a mailing list, we couldn't actually redact it because if you removed an email, it would mess up all of the links. Like, because literally the storage was an HTML file. So it was pretty bad. And so then Mailman 3 came. Even the Mailman developers realized that it was bad, and so they worked on version 3, which was mostly a ground-up rewrite of the software. And finally, we started working on migrating, mailing lists, and we decided we would do it in batches. We would segmented them based on the size and how big their archives were. And I want to shout out Amir, aka Lads Group, who was really the first person to get started, and then he roped me into this project. And there were a lot of volunteers and staff members throughout the whole thing that helped with testing and debugging throughout the process. And as we started the migration process, we also started looking closely at Mailman 2 for like the first time in years. No one had really, it just kind of like existed. No one really paid attention to it. And we discovered that for mailing lists that were set not to keep an archive, and these are sensitive mailing lists like the board's mailing list, the legal mailing list, the LGBT users mailing list, they were all set to not keep archives. And it turns out that Mailman was keeping archives. And even the fact that these were private lists, anyone who could guess the URL could actually view the archives. And up to the point of, you could go back till like 2007 that these archives that were not supposed to be saved had been saved by the software, even though we had explicitly told it not to. And so then, we spent like a few days like deleting all of these files that should have never existed in the first place. Big, big oops. Then we started migrating over to Mailman 3, and we learned that, like the database software used is called MariaDB. We learned that no one had actually run Mailman 3 at our scale, like at any scale on MariaDB, because we just kept hitting all these bugs that were like the most basic issues. So the biggest one that we ran into was if you had an emoji in your username, the migration would fail. Like the database layer was set to the wrong encoding, so it would reject anyone with a emoji. And the problem was that in flight, it would migrate enough of the mailing list that we would think that you had moved over to the new version, except that it hadn't, and someone managed to send an email in the process of it breaking, and their email was like disappeared into cyberspace. We were able to work pretty well with the upstream in getting this fixed. They were very receptive and very happy that we were actually testing it and using it. This was around the same time we discovered a security bug in Mailman 3, in which that when you were migrating a private list, the archives would be public up until the migration, the import finished, and then they would become private. And for most people, that like actually isn't that big of a deal, because typically you would like migrate all of your lists over and then you would announce it to your users, hey, we've moved over to this new thing. Except that's not how we do it. We would say on IRC, hey, we're migrating this list over, like it's starting now, and that way everyone like knows what we're doing. And sure enough, people like, how come I can read the archives? I'm not supposed to be able to. And then that was another thing we worked with the developers to get fixed and reported as a security issue. Lastly, Mailman 3 is better than Mailman 2, but it also has a decent amount of issues. There are a lot of unresolved problems or just weird UI issues. Like it's actually hard for people to unsubscribe. It's very easy to subscribe, but hard to unsubscribe. And they're just an assortment of issues that people have filed bugs for that we're slowly working on and have reported upstream. The one thing I do want to note is that the Wikimedia Foundation funded a security audit for the Mailman 3 software last month, or over the past few months, but we got the results last month. And it was actually a really good thing and a great way for us to contribute back to the Mailman project. And for them, they found one critical security issue that was actually not even a Mailman issue. It was an issue in one of the dependencies we used that had fixed the issue, and they just didn't bother telling anyone, hey, we fixed a security issue, you should update. So once we realized that, it got fixed, it got reported, and then Debian and Fedora and all these other projects, accepted it as a security update. So everyone else who's been having this issue has also been patched. And there's still a few issues that haven't been disclosed, but yeah, we're working on it, and happy emailing. Just pin it to yourself.
Next lightning talk coming up momentarily. Hi.
No, there's still driver's bill.
We're going to do we're going to Will right now, but we're going to come back.
Hold on.
Can you take the
Probably we need to share this because yeah, that's great. That's all needs to be behind me. Put this up on the that'd be great. Thank you. Oh, it's not behind me. Okay. But that's okay. We're not, this video is not going to that. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I'll jump in right now. All right, hello everyone. I'd like to give a quick lightning talk on the Environment of New York City Task Force. If you're interested in the environment, if you're interested in New York City, this might be a task force that interests you. This is a task force that's under the Wiki project 2020 with an Earth Day event at Sure We Can, which is a redemption center in Bushwick, Brooklyn. And we started doing these Earth Day themed edit-a-thons during the pandemic, so we did them online. And in this process, we started developing these work lists. And as the work list started getting longer and longer, I thought this seems more than just a once-a-year event. Maybe this would be worthy of pushing into a task force. So I took these work lists and created the Environment of New York City Task Force. And Wikimedia Commons. The Environment of New York City Task Force is supported and run by the local chapters of Wikipedia editors. So just recently, in June, we had an event at the Bronx Botanical Gardens. This is the New York Botanical Gardens. They have a very large grand library. And this was an Environment of the Bronx themed event where we focused on environmental issues of the Bronx. The library pulled materials related to the Bronx forest, which we were able to use in our editing. And this was a really exciting event. And this was the first time we moved the task force out of Brooklyn. So now we've done an event in the Bronx. And looking forward, I hope to push this task force to all 5 boroughs. So if anyone wants to collaborate in any environmentally themed editing in any of the 5 boroughs, let me know. We have a tentative upcoming event in Brooklyn in early September. And if you look at these page views, popular articles that we've written, you can see, you're not gonna be able to see in this room here, but Ryan has it up for the viewers online. One of our most popular articles, New York City Waste Management System. This is a really great article on New York City waste management. It's had over 1,000 views this year. Thane Family Forest is one of the oldest growth forests in New York City. That's at the Bronx Botanical Gardens. We've had the Sunset Park Material Recovery Facility article written, which is a really interesting material recovery facility written by rhododendrites here. I really recommend it. We've had an article written on canner, which is the occupation of people that come and pick up cans and return them for redemption. And we've had articles written on community gardens. So we'll put a link of this into the meetup page. But yeah, this is my quick lightning talk about the Environment of New York City Task Force. You can follow our meetup page and we'll be posting updates
a long list of tasks and other topics that need articles. So take a look, and thanks for your time.
Sorry, what do I do?
I think it's the microphone. It's loud.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. We have been volunteered for a lightning talk.
And we're from LaGuardia Community College. My name is Ann Mitsuchi. I'm a librarian, and this is
Jimena, Dr. X for my students, and we have been collaborating for years now on translate-a-thons. So we want to tell you a little bit about them, how they work, and why we're not doing them right now.
So Jimena teaches English. She teaches English 101, and we're always teaching together with Wikipedia. We've done this for many years, and since 2017, we've been doing translate-a-thon events, once a year, where we invite everybody from our college and everyone
in the community,
to translate. So it's kind of like a version of the edit-a-thon, which also originated here in the New York City chapter. And except it focuses on translating entries, which offers, I think, a lot of an easy open door for people who feel like, they don't know enough or they don't have enough to contribute to Wikipedia. But a lot of people have access to different languages, or even if they don't, they could still, enable the translation for others in the room,
Yes.
which is really great.
And so one of the features of LaGuardia Community College is that 125 languages are spoken. So this is why, the question is, why would you want to do a translate-a-thon instead of an edit-a-thon? And one of the reasons was that we wanted our students to feel that they could contribute as, so maybe they're not experts in a particular area, but they are experts in their own language. And so, with a little bit of choosing, you can find articles that are simple for them to, what I mean simple in the sense of like, not very long, so that they can translate them in, an hour and a half. And one thing that we learned that was very interesting was how English-centered our events were. Even when we were putting together our posters and things like that, all of them were originally in English. And then, one of the creators said, hey, why don't we invite them in their own language? And we had to ask people to help us translate all of the flyers and so on and so forth. But that really helped a lot, because it felt like it was not just asking them to translate from English to their own language, but actually they could also, use from their own language into English.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people told me how much they appreciated seeing that, a sign for an event in their language, and that really made them feel welcome and truly invited.
Yeah. So the translate-a-thons are very useful for Wikipedia, but also they're very useful for the people who are actually doing them. I've learned, in organizing these. And obviously we're not doing them because of the pandemic, but we're gonna go back to doing them because, it requires a lot of people in one room, and I don't think the school is quite ready to do that yet.
But if you're interested, take a look. We'll add links to our event pages. You'll see how much planning that you can do, how much you can offer to participants to get things going. And don't feel afraid to start small with just one room and a few people, That's how it grows, right?
Oh, and only one tip. At the end, always have a cake. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dan. I'm not sure when those empanadas get here, but there's food left over from breakfast if anybody's like starving. 5 minutes. Okay, well, there you go. Cool. So I'm Dan. I work for Wikimedia Foundation. I've been there for 10 years. I wasn't born a data nerd, but I've become a data nerd over the last 10 years. And I just wanted to tell you all a little bit about what I do, because I'm going to hopefully come to these meetups a lot more often. I live in the New York area, and just invite you to step into my little weird data niche and think about this stuff with me. So so data engineers at Wikimedia Foundation deal with an influx of data from web requests to the different Wikimedia projects, like people clicking around, reading articles, to people editing and how they edit, to the content itself and like publishing that back out. So we sort of take that fire hose of data, streams of data coming in, we package it into different data sets or dashboards or whatever people want and publish it out. So some examples are Wikistats, which is stats.wikimedia.org. There's like a bunch of stats there. There's dumps, so that's like full like content dumps as XML files that you can like download and do cool stuff with. Quick example about what somebody that I just found out did with that. So they look at all the dumps and they train machine learning models to identify similar users. So a person might be editing under multiple names. That's totally fine sometimes, but sometimes they might be using that as sock puppeting, and so or other nefarious purposes. And so machine learning can help us sort of like identify those things, and dumps is like the input data to that kind of training. And a problem with that is that dumps takes, something like 20 days or something to be published every month. And so it's a bit slow. And for a long time, I've been trying to build technical infrastructure to make that better. And this year, I think I can start working on the project of making that be published in about a day, hopefully. So I'm going to start that soon. And that's the kind of work that I do. In doing all this, like we're sort of building all these big data processing frameworks, clusters, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of it is internal to Wikimedia Foundation. But we're hoping that what we learn is useful to run kind of community data pipelines. Like if folks from have an interest in a specific piece of data or a data set, they can just tell us and we can run it for them. Or also like content data, like during the COVID pandemic early days, there was a lot of demand for pulling data, aggregating, cleaning, publishing, and there wasn't a lot of support at all for that kind of infrastructure in the projects themselves. And so we hope that we can bring some of this data engineering that we're doing outside on the cloud VPS system and stuff like that. So that's kind of the stuff that I think about all the time. And if you're interested in any of that, come find me at one of these things and talk to me, or come find like the data engineering team on IRC. We're still on IRC, Wikimedia-Analytics, or like the mailing list or anywhere. Yeah, thanks.
And now we'll have a lightning talk from the folks doing a coup at the department. Okay, that's okay. And now we'll have a lightning talk on the Department of Fun. Department of Fun, yeah? Is that right? Hope it's right. Anyway.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey everybody, we're not actually the Department of Fun, but well, there is a Wikimedia a wiki project called the Department of Fun. I just found out about it a few weeks ago, and I'm trying to become the leader of the Department of Fun. I was informed by an editor that there are no leaders in wiki projects, but in the sense of fun, I'm still going to campaign. So today, I want to do a dramatic reading of a page with my associate here. Here we go, everybody. This is the Wikipedia page. What? Sorry. Yes. Great. This will be under our time. This is a Wikipedia page for Publicity Stunt. In marketing, a publicity stunt is a planned event designed to attract the public's attention to the event's organizers or their cause. Publicity stunts can be professionally organized or set up by amateurs. That's us. Such events are frequently utilized by advertisers and by celebrities, who notably include athletes and politicians.
Organizations sometimes seek publicity by staging newsworthy events that attract media coverage. They can be in the form of groundbreakings, world record attempts, dedications, press conferences, or organized protests. By staging and managing the event, the organization attempts to gain some control over what is reported in the media. Successful publicity stunts have news value, offer photo, video, and soundbite opportunities, and are arranged primarily for media coverage.
It can be difficult for planking, really?
Yep.
It can be difficult for organizations to design successful publicity stunts that highlight the message instead of burying it. For example, it makes sense for a pizza company to bake the world's largest pizza, but it would not make sense for the YMCA to sponsor that same event. The importance of publicity stunts is for generating news, interest, and awareness for the concept, product, or service being marketed. 2 more paragraphs, everybody.
Notable publicity stunts. J.P. Morgan and Ringling Brothers. In the year 1933, during the congressional hearings of J.P. Morgan's role in the financial crash, an American Senator, Carter Glass, remarked that the proceedings had turned into a circus. The Ringling Brothers Company were in town that time. They interpreted Senator Glass's remarks as an invitation and asked their press agent to place a dwarf, Leah Graff,
Sorry, I only know one card trick. This is going to be it, everybody.
on Morgan's lap during one of the hearings. While it surprised Morgan and infuriated Senator Glass, it got loads of publicity for Ringling Brothers. And luckily, that's the last time you're going to see that trick.
Calendar girls. In 1999, a group of 11 women of the Women's Institute in Yorkshire, UK, stripped for a calendar to raise money for charity. The calendar release featured the women posing nude, obscured by baked goods and flower arrangements, with 800,000 copies sold worldwide. This stunt shocked people in those times and inspired the hit drama comedy Calendar Girls. This has been the Wikipedia page for Publicity Stunt. Thanks, everybody.
David, you want to go? Okay. Do you want to go and then we go time?
1 minute, a minute left.
Okay. Okay.
We just sign off.
Thanks, everyone. This has been the live portion of our lightning talks. We're going to continue our lightning talks in private, so you will not know our great lightning talks that are coming up. But well, goodbye from the Wiki World's Fair. Hope to see you here again, and hopefully we'll have. I want to have a big Wiki World's Fair in 2025 for the 400th anniversary of New York City. I hope we have Wikimania here properly. Whoa. Thanks, everyone.
It's so nice to see you at Wikimania 2022. And my name is Natalia. I'm from Wikimedia Poland, but today I'm representing the Volunteer Supporters Network, which is a global network of people working with in volunteer support. And Raimund, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Raimund from Austria, and I'm also with the Volunteer Supporters Network.
Okay, that was a very short introduction. Okay, so, but usually on those meetings, the Volunteer Supporters Network prepares a very professional session about something volunteer support related. But this year, since this is a festive edition of Wikimania, we just wanted to have fun with you and to make a quiz about something that actually unites us, but I will be talking about it in a minute. But for now, just to say hello, I would like to see from how many corners of the world we all are, and it would be very nice if you would type to the chat hello in your own language. And please use the Zoom chat through Feedloop if possible. Then we will surely see your answers. I will even start by writing. Dobry wieczór, which is an adequate hello in Polish right now, because it's evening and it's
So, Lydia, I see you greet in Germany with Germany.
Hey, Armenia. Oh, it's even, there's even a Polish siemanko, which is a very informal Polish way of saying hello. In Ukrainian, hello. Hey, there's like, we have Ukraine, we have Canada, we have Armenia, we have Poland, we have US, and we have like global audience, because this is how Wikimania works. So, and Ghana is here, and Botswana. So keep leaving your hellos if you feel like it. And I will tell you a bit what we will be doing today. We have prepared a quiz using the Kahoot platform, and the quiz will be about food. Because as a global network, the VSN wanted to show how different we are through the local traditions all around the world, but using something that is shared and it unites us, which is food, but also Wikipedia. Wikipedia also is something that can be shared and united. So we'll be having a quiz around food. And to just warm up, could you write on the chat the name of some local dish from your country that you like the best? I will write down, unsurprisingly, that since I'm from Poland, pierogi is the thing I like. Blueberry pierogi, San Francisco soda bread. Yeah. Ludwig, are those Stroop waffles? I will check this everything then on Wikipedia and see at night. Okay, so we will be using a Kahoot platform to perform a quiz around food, and we'll be asking you about food from all around the world. And if any of you is from the country that the food in question is for, you can write something more in the chat or raise your hand to say something about this food, because if you're from that country, probably you're the expert and you can say the most. To perform the quiz, we will be using the Kahoot platform. And to use it, you will need your phones. But if you don't have your phone with you, or somehow the Kahoot platform won't work for you, you can still type your answers into the chat. We will see them. And the good news is that everyone who will participate in the quiz, if they will leave us with their Wikipedia username, they will receive a special DSN Barnstar after Wikimania. So there are prizes to everyone. So hopefully it will all work. I'm kind of anxious because I don't know if the technical side of things will go smoothly, and that I will be able to properly pronounce all the names of the food prepared. So I will now share my screen, and okay. Probably you can see my screen, and in order to take part, you can take your mobile or use another tab in your browser and go to this address, kahoot.it, and then paste the game PIN number, or you can use the QR code. I already see 2 players. It works. And wow, I will have, like, I'm still looking at the chat, and I know that I will be having a lot of tasty things to Google and then try. So that's cool. Yep, here it is. Here is the link. I posted on the chat, and the game PIN is 393413. So there will be 20-something questions about different types of food from around the world. And your success will be measured by the correctness of your answer, but also the time that you will put it. So I'm a little bit worried that the technical delay that we have between the Zoom and you receiving it might be a problem here. But we are just having fun, so we'll deal with it. Okay, I will just give you some more time to join. We have 21 people who joined the quiz. So just wait a little bit more. And yeah, people are still joining. Raimund, what is your favorite food?
Well, I already wrote it. It's the schnitzel from Vienna. So some of you might know it from The Sound of Music, where they sing about a schnitzel with noodles. It's a piece of veal covered in bread. And in Sound of Music, they eat it with noodles. We don't do this in Austria. Actually, we use rice or something like this. But still, it's schnitzel.
I think I had the chance to well, I didn't have a chance to try schnitzel in Vienna because I already was a vegetarian when I went to Vienna, but I saw a schnitzel. Like, super cool. Okay. So I think we may start. So keep your fingers crossed that the delay between the Zoom transmission and what you are receiving won't be a problem. And when you will see a question, the answers will be marked with the color and the shape, and on your mobile or on your second tab, you can just click what do you think the right answer is. And as I said, you can also answer on the chat. We're just having fun. Oh, Wikimedians. Oh, people are still coming. Just give them. I don't know if you hear this super funny Kahoot music.
No, the fun is all yours, I'm afraid. So
it's the same all the time, so I don't know if it's something to be about. Okay, so there's 29 of us, so are you ready? Hopefully. Let's go. So the first question is, what kind of pasta is the right one for bolognese sauce? Which kind of pasta is the right one for bolognese sauce? We have already answers coming. Okay, so the proper answer is lasagna. And I was actually super confused about this question because it was prepared by an Italian Wikimedian. And I was very sure that the one and only proper pasta for this is spaghetti, but apparently lasagna is also the one. So let's see how is our podium. Okay, so we have like 3 people on the podium. Adegieka, I hope that pronounced that right. We have Nana and Carol. Very close. So, yes, spaghetti is the wrong one, probably. So if we have any Italians on the session, they can something to that, and we will proceed to the next question. Ready? Hopefully. This is a true-false question. It is illegal to export traditional Scottish haggis to the US since 1971. Is it true or is it false? Okay, so 22 of you said that it is true. And actually, it is true. And as I found out on the best source of information you can imagine, which is Wikipedia, it is because of sheep lungs, which are responsible for like 10 to 15% of the dish. And in 2010, the US Department of Agriculture, according to Wikipedia, said that maybe they will revise this decision. Okay, let's see how the podium is right now looking. We had some changes. Now, Arachne, Arpi, and Ruben are on the podium for free, but the situation is like very, very tight because the number of points is very similar. So let's see. Oh, and Renvo is the highest climber. Okay, let's see what will happen. What will happen next? Where was the first beer brought in the Czech lands? We have Prague, Pilsen, Budweis, Brno. I'm wondering if any Wikimedians from Czech Republic with us. And so, yes, I also thought that it was Pilsen, so I'm not surprised that most of you decided on that one. But surprisingly, it was in Prague, actually in a Brennov monastery near Prague. So this is where the famous Czech beer came from. Okay, let's see how it changed the situation. Talk about okay, right now we have Ale on the first place, Vanessa on second, Nana on first. So Nana is again on the podium, and situation is still very much even. So let's see what the next questions will bring. Which Moroccan dish is prepared with this special vessel? The picture will slowly reveal just itself. So And yes, 12 people correctly responded that this is tagine, and the name of the vessel is actually the same as the name of the dish. I have never eaten it, but it is one of the dishes I really want to eat someday. So if anyone knows where I can eat it in Poland, please recommend. Okay, how the situation changed right here. Ale still on the podium, Vanessa, Arachne, and there's Carl, and a very nice and adequate nickname, Yummy. So situation is changing, question after question. So let's see what happens next. Which Central American food is shown in the image below? So again, we have a revealing image. What is it? Pupusas, tortilla, tamales, or none is correct. Whatever it is, it looks tasty. And no, the most popular answer was tortilla, but actually it's pupusas, which is, as I learned from Wikipedia, a kind of a sour bread which can contain super nice things in it, for example, cheese or vegetables. And it is a national dish from El Salvador, where they even have a special day to celebrate it. Did it change anything, Province? No, the situation is still very even with Ale, Vanessa, but LD jumped into the podium, and we have Jana and Elena. So the situation is changing all around. Let's see what happens next. Since when Greek culture has the practice of cooking food on spits or skewers like souvlaki? When did those Greeks started doing that? And yes, you were mostly right, since the Bronze Age. So it is a very, very, very long time tradition. So let's see what's the situation. So many points coming. There are changes. There is Vanessa now at the top, and LD received a special tag because we have 3 correct answers in a row. Congrats! You really know the food. Okay, so what tasty question we see? The pico de gallo, roaster's bill in Mexico, is a type of. Is it a dessert, sweet bread, soup, sauce? I wonder if you are checking Wikipedia in the background. It would be a really valuable sauce to check. Okay, and yes, it is a sauce which is made of tomatoes and onions and should be served very fresh as a salad. And yeah, we have a Mexican here. So yeah, Alejandra, it's tasty, right? It looks super good. Another good thing I haven't tried. So let's see what happened on our scoreboard. LD, it's the 4th correct answer. Congratulations. We have Ale and Vanessa and Diana and Elena. But it is not the end of the question. So if anyone's not here at the top, don't lose your hope. There's still a lot of. Which kind of beans are used in Brazilian feijoada? I practiced the pronunciation today. So which beans are there? Black-eyed peas, black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas. So many beans. So many tasty beans. And it's black beans, as you mostly correctly assumed. So you are bean expert. Probably. Let's see what happened on the scoreboard. And these still on top, but not with correct answer. Elena climbed to the 2nd place. Vanessa is here, Jan is here, Ale, and Inas is the highest climber because 7. You have 7 places up. So a lot of changes, a lot of emotions, a lot of tasty food. Let's see what will happen next. Get ready for the next question because here it comes. So what is the national dish of the United States? And there is a typo in the question. That's funny. Sorry for that. I take away myself like 50 points for the typo, even though I'm not playing. So also this question is confusing because all of these dishes can be eaten in the United States, but the hamburger can be concerned as a national dish, but all those things can be eaten. So yeah, it's a trick question. Hamburger's not right. Oh no, we have some controversies, and we have Wikipedians on the on the session. So probably right now we are all jumping through sources and checking what did the sources say. Do we have citations for that? Oh no! Okay. So before you jump into citing sources, as proper Wikimedians do, let's see what this tricky question done to our scoreboard. And there are also changes, and we have Vanessa on the first place, and LD, and Elena, and Jana, and OpenBK. Hello, OpenBK, you're a Polish Wikimedian, I know you. Okay, so will the next question bring so much controversies or not? Let's see. Which of the following spices is not widely used in Indian food? Okay, and yes, it is tarragon, which is known differently as estragon, and it is used in French cuisine, actually. And most of you had it right. So there are some changes on the scoreboard. So as you can see, the situation is very dynamic. Everything can change in a second. So I'm just posting my comment on the chat regarding to the great hamburger controversy of 2022, which we apparently began. And go. Let's see the next questions. True or false? Is Turkey the world's largest producer of cherries? Is it true? Is it false? What is it? Let's see. Ha! Only 13 of you knew that it is actually true. Turkey is the world's largest producer of cherries. There is a famous song by Tori Amos which is called Snow Cherries from France, and maybe that fooled you, but it's Turkey. So we had, again, some changes. So let's, and if anyone is late, you can still join the game by going to Kahoot page and posting the game pin. You can still join. I'm posting that. Oh, Elena, thank you. We just, okay, so are you ready for the next questions? Which are the main ingredients of the Senegalese received called thieboudienne? If you would like to make this dish, what would you use? I spent some time today looking on YouTube of people cooking this dish. So it's on my to eat list. And I can see in the chat that the great hamburger controversy is still happening. Yes, it's fish, vegetables, rice, tomato, and chili, which Sounds super tasty. And still, I think that still our leaders are still there. The five. Will someone join them on the scoreboard? We'll see. But congratulations to Please Stand, who has a strike with 4 correct answers in a row. Okay, let's see what the next question is. True or false? The Malva pudding is a starter. Yes or no? If you would have a Malva pudding, in which moment would you give it? As a starter? Or maybe later? See. And it's false. It's actually a sweet pudding. So it's not a starter. What happened to the scoreboard? Some changes. Hans and Hadi was up to the scoreboard. Congratulations. And Tamdra is the highest climber. Yeah. Okay, our food experts. Let's continue. Which of the following is not a Japanese dish? We have some tasty dishes, but which of them is not a Japanese dish? Well, it's khao kanchin, which actually is from Thailand. And it is the most popular answer. Some of you also thought that maybe curry rice is not eaten in Japan. But the people on our scoreboard knew the correct answer. There are not many changes from the last question, but Please Stand is climbing pretty fast. So watch out, leaders. What's happening? Yeah, from all those dishes, I love ramen the most. I collect it every day. Okay, good. So the knowledge of San Francisco can be useful because there used to be a Japanese curry truck in San Francisco. Good for you. Okay, get ready. Another question is coming. How is this dessert called? So you need to look at the revealing picture and see what dessert is that. What is this tasty thing? And yes, 15 of you guessed it correct. It's baklava. It's super tasty and super sweet dessert made from filo cake with honey and nuts, and oh, it's super tasty. And here. So we have LD on the first spot, and Vanessa and Hans and Diana and Elena, but Nana is the highest climber. So question is choose the right ingredients for this dish. So you will see a dish. What would be good ingredients for that? Yes, those are vine leaves, rice, and meat, and 12 of you guessed it correct. It's Armenian dolba, and I know that we have one person from, at least one person from Armenia here, so probably at least one person considered it an easy question. Okay, and LD with 3 correct answers in a row is on the first place, but changes can still happen. Let's see. The koshari is the strongest variety of Egyptian black tea. True or false? And no, it's actually false because koshari is actually an Egyptian dish, not a tea. So another tricky question. I don't know if it will burst another controversy, but we still have some questions to go. And yeah, veggie meat, a popular food spread in Australia, is made from what black substance? This question was brought to us by an Australian Wikimedian. And yes, it is made of concentrated yeast, and can be put on bread. And as I've heard, it's very tasty. So here are our leaders. Some points gained. I'm speeding up because I hope that we'll be able to finish before our session ends. And which of the following is one of the main ingredients of the cuisine of Tuvalu? What do people on Tuvalu eat? And yes, coconuts are super popular. And according to Wikipedia, coconut milk is even more popular than animal milk on Tuvalu. So, change there and jumping straight to the next question. True or false? This is a cheesecake, a traditional dessert from New Zealand. Is this a cheesecake, a traditional dessert from New Zealand? Is it true or is it false? Or what is it? Do we have anyone from New Zealand? And it's false. It's pavlova, which is a dessert which originated from New Zealand or Australia, but it was not a cheesecake, so false. And what happened? Oh, I jumped straight to the next question. Pasta with strawberries is a popular dish in Poland. Probably I was speeding up so fast to have the Polish question that this is why I jumped straight into. So, do Polish people put strawberries on pasta? Do we do that? Do we eat pasta with strawberries? And it is true. If there are any Italians here, we are very sorry. I know that you are still wrapping your heads around the idea of putting pineapple on a pizza, but we in Poland are actually putting strawberries on pasta. It's a dish. It's a dish we eat in summer, sometimes with, for example, white cheese or cream, and we do that. We are very sorry, but it is super tasty. So, what happened on our scoreboard? This is how the situation presents right now. LD, Ale, Vanessa, Elena, Hans. And the last question. Which ingredient of the Spanish omelette is not typical of the basic recipe? Okay, so it's an onion. And actually, I was super surprised because I have eaten this omelette a lot. And it was always with onions, but we have a very good Spanish source which confirms that this is not the case. Okay, so, but again, what do I know? I'm Polish, I put strawberries on pasta, so what do I know about food? Okay, so this was, I think, the last question. So now the truth will reveal itself. Vanessa, the bronze medal goes to you. And Ale, the silver medal goes to you. And who will receive the gold medal? Ali, you won the game. You are now considered actually a food expert by the VSN. Elena and Hans also made it to the first 5, but I think that, everyone's a winner. So we have 23% of correct answers, which is, I think, a very good ratio. And if you will put your Wikipedia usernames on the chat, Raymond will make sure to note them. And we will be, after the weekend, you will be receiving a special Barn Star. I know that you would probably prefer to receive the food that we were talking about, but it's probably not easy to deliver. But the next time you'll be eating a baklava or a hamburger, which is or is not a dish, we don't know, or you'll see some strange Polish people putting strawberries on the pasta or something like that, think about Wikimania. So, go ahead, Raymond. Note all the usernames. You have the most difficult task. It would be very good to send it. You actually do know a lot about food, so. Empanadas, yes, I would eat an empanada. That would be a perfect thing to do right now. So. All usernames, Piotr, you can write all. Everyone who was here at this session can receive a Barn Star because it was fun being here together, I think. So great. And I will be checking the discussion page of English Wikipedia of the hamburger article to see if the discussion will rise up there. And also if anyone needs a recipe for pasta with strawberries, I can provide you with one. And I'm just putting my email address here because if something would have happened and you wouldn't receive your Barn Star or you wouldn't be able to paste it here right now, go ahead, write to me. You deserve a Barn Star. It's a Wikimedian's right to have a Barn Star. So. Oh. And it's also so nice to see your username. So, and yeah, thank you for taking part. I think that we are all super hungry, and in 2 minutes we'll all be rushing either to our kitchens to cook something, or we will be looking for some good takeout. As I said, I would like to try tangine. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but I know that I will be eat it with a lot of joy. So yeah, and if you would like to know more about the Volunteer Supporters Network, you can visit our Meta page. Yes, we're on Meta. As everything what's important in the Wiki world, we are on Meta. So I'm pasting the link. And 1 minute left. So it was super fun having you. It's strange how Wikimania can have all the Wikimania energy, even if it's online, right? I think it's the great Wikipedia magic that happens. So thank you for being here. Raymond, you have 1 minute to add something.
I'm copying your usernames and thank you for...
I'm not interrupting that. That's a very important thing to do. As said, if at the end of Monday, Polish time, the Barn Star won't reach your discussion page, please reach out to us. And it was good having you here, and thank you for doing some Wikimania fun with us. Everyone. And yeah, we still have 10 minutes left, and I was super convinced that we don't have 10 minutes left. So what do we do with the lasting 10 minutes? Is there anyone? Oh, there's an important question in the chat. Do they make hamburgers with strawberries? Somewhere in the world, probably someone does something like that. So, since we have 10 minutes left, is there anyone who is from a country that their food was mentioned on the chat, on the quiz, and would like to comment on that? Add something. You can actually unmute yourself and you can join the conversation. So feel free to unmute yourself and say, on pasta with strawberry, yes, Piotr, we can also comment on that. Monte Cristo can be made with strawberry jam, kind of a burger sandwich. Okay, so there is a burgerish thing with strawberries. It's funny what people can do with strawberries, right? Mm. Indian food is super delicious. What okay, LeBron, what is the most delicious thing one can eat in Nigeria? Like, I don't think I have ever eaten anything Nigerian. There are no Nigerian restaurants in Poland, but maybe I will go to Nigeria someday. What should I try? Bitter leaf soup.
It's egusi soup, egusi and eba.
Okay, I'm actually Googling that right now. See what it is.
Hello. There's one the Yoruba people call amala and the wedu.
And what is made out of?
We're also taking all the good recipes that you can show. I'm okay. So the most interesting thing I've learned today also is that you can have a burger sandwich with strawberry jam and Nigeria jollof rice. Okay, I'm also Googling that one. I will be very hungry after this session, honestly. Wow, that looks actually the jollof. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but it looks super tasty. I'm looking at Wikipedia. I want to try that. Tomatoes, onions, spices, vegetables. Okay, so there is a Nigerian and Ghana jollof rice. I can eat it twice in Ghana and in Nigeria. So okay. So in case you would like to make pasta with strawberry, you need to cook any pasta. You need to make sure there is no one from Italy around, because I don't think that they would like what would happen. And then you can mix the strawberries with either very sweet cream or white cheese. You add some sugar. You just blend it all up in a kind of a sauce. And also dice some strawberries to put it in it, and then you put it on the pasta, and you eat it on a summer day with Polish strawberries, which are actually one of the best strawberries you can eat. And I'm Googling Ekipoli from Uganda. Ekipoli doesn't actually have an article in English Wikipedia, which is, I think, something that should be corrected. I will be also translating probably some of the food you were mentioning from English Wikipedia to Polish Wikipedia. So.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, just a quick things to say. Actually, the dolma that it is with the rice, with the most known one. But in my region, as a Armenian dish, we made it with burgul too, without meat. So there is but the most known one is with meat and rice, and we called it dolma. And the other one is with burgul and with egg, a lot of onion too, but without meat. So just to know that too. Thank you.
Okay, so it wasn't so obvious because we had like bulgur as an option, and then actually in a way it was correct. Thank you for bringing that up. I actually ate it in Armenia at the C meeting. It was amazing. Yes, I know. I'm sorry, Justina. We are just making people hungry. No, I know. Okay. Raymond, do you see? Because we still have some usernames coming on the chat, so make sure to catch all of them because we'll be having a lot of time giving out Bandstas on Monday. So if you think that your Wikimania actually ends at Sunday, that's not true, because on Monday you will be receiving Bandstas. So we'll have like an extra Wikimania day for that. Yes, we are talking about food. Because why not? And I'm actually in Wikimedia Poland's office in Poznań, and I have some wiki food here, and I have like Wikipedia, a small, like, how do you call it, like gummy bears, right? So I have Wikipedia gummy bears. So yeah.
We have a raised hand by Techno Pouvoir 2.
Okay, can you, yeah, Techno, go ahead and mute yourself. Because I think you're able to do that. Techno, what would you like to say about food, Wikimania? Oh, it's the name of a phone. Sorry. So, Povir, right? Sorry if I pronounced that poorly. Yes, when I was inventing the question about pasta and strawberries, I actually knew that you will be impressed with what Polish people can do if you give them two ingredients that don't match. But in our defense, we also have blueberry pierogis, which is a very normal thing to eat. So, okay, we have 1 minute left. So I think if I'm not mixing something again, it was so good seeing you all here. Sing for us. No, this is, I think that I'm a nice person and I don't sing to people because I'm a nice person and I know how I sing. So, nope, yeah. So, we'll sing at the live Wikimania. So I think our session is over. Thank you everyone for being here, and it was a joy having you here and talking about food and sharing strange Polish dishes and knowing about what you're eating. And Yeah, thank you for being here, and I hope we'll see each other on other Wikimania sessions. And on Wikimania 2023, hopefully. Bye, everyone.